Welcome to the bright side of aging. My name is IKE ENGELBAUM. I'm a pharmacist and the publisher of AmericanSeniorGazette.org. It has been wisely said, you cannot help getting older, but you can help getting old. It has also been said that age is a matter of the mind. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. My purpose in doing the show is so that seniors and caregivers can share their ideas and questions on how we can age gracefully and in a vertical position for as long as our good genes will allow. And if we've inherited bad genes, how to outwit them. Our topics include senior housing, financial, legal, safety, travel, health issues, interesting senior events in the community, and most of all, tips on how to put old on hold. If you are 50 and above, one of the biggest decisions aside from your financial situation is where and how you should live. Our professional staff at HOW stands for House Calls on Wheels, is ready to help you if you call 888-489-8980 for a free consultation as to whether you should stay in your current home or renovate it with a customized healthcare suite in your attached garage. Yes, you can have living quarters, healthcare suite in your attached garage, or we can attach it to your home. We can install ramps, walkways, and bathtubs, stair glides, and bring in insurance-covered medical professional medical staff that is covered by your insurance, or affordable non-medical help, or move into a senior apartment. Independent, assisted living center. We can do it all, or just give us a free call. It has been wisely said that in life you feel in one of two ways. You do without thinking, or you think without doing. Please let us help you do what's best for you to do at no charge. Just call 888-489-8980 and let us know what time we can call you or visit with you at no charge. Remember, asking for help is not a weakness, but it's a strength. Please call us at 888-489-8980 and let us help you stay strong and age in dignity. For over 30 years, Cruise Hearing and Service has helped thousands of people improve their hearing and enjoy the sounds of their life again. If you don't hear as well as you like, Cruise Hearing can help you. They have actually hearing aids that the batteries do not need to be recharged. And they also have a caption phone that you can view for free. And also the phone, if you are over 65, is available to you free. So any phone calls you get, you can see captioned if you don't hear that well. Hey, they've got other stuff. If you'd like the free cookbook, call 1-888-489-8980. That's available. You can call Cruise Hearing Direct at 877-456-2789. The number direct is 877-456-2789. And welcome. We give it all these phone numbers. And if you're creative, who knows, on the bright side of aging, if you combine the numbers correctly, you could be a winner of the lottery. Wow. As many of you may know, I actually am involved with the show, not only Bright Side of Aging, but also with the aspect of getting together in terms of having discussion groups. I
welcome the opportunity to be able to have the chance to tell you about different things that are going on. And as far as the whole aspect of getting on, as you well know, in today's time, we're dealing with so many serious issues. So the best way to recuperate, quite frankly, is to have an opportunity to be able to have a chance to build on each other's strengths. The truth of it is that so many people don't take advantage of the friends they already have. And I'm looking forward to trying to give you some guidance on how you indeed can enjoy life as you age. And one of the things that I pride myself on is the fact that if you are in any sort of a problem, if you call our toll-free number, 888-489-8980, if I don't have the answer, I now know that how I can help in getting you connected through Area Agency on Aging. And also there's organizations that are nonprofit organizations, and hopefully we can make it happen. One of the things that really bothers me is the fact that the world has really turned around more now than ever before in terms of the discourse and hatred. As many of you may know, that my background, I am a Holocaust survivor, and I don't like to discuss situations that may put you down in terms of your thoughts about life. But the truth of it is, as the old saying goes, you should learn from the past so that we can avoid making the same mistakes that people did before. And I'm really excited about having a really super talented author and award-winning technology journalist by the name of Karen FRENKEL. She's author, document producer. She may not know this, but we have a special relationship. And that is, my sister's name is Karen. And guess what? My legal name is Isaac. And Karen FRENKEL co-authored a book with Isaac Asimov of robots, machines in man's language. Is that right, Karen FRENKEL?
Yes. Hi, Ike. Thanks for having me on your show. My book is called Robots, Machines in Man's Image. Thank you for mentioning it.
Okay. And now with all the political correctness, so we have to be careful with the human being's image.
Couldn't be more right.
I am really impressed. We've had articles in Bloomberg Business Week, Discover, Essence, Fast Company, which is a phenomenal organization, and you really put a phenomenal book together, and I am really impressed with how your talents and being an investigator type reporter, you scoured the internet, you visited cities across Europe, and you were able to honor your relatives that actually had mysteries that unfortunately have not been told. And with your talents, you're bringing that forward, and I'm really impressed. So to start off, what were you told about your family's escape from the Nazis, and what didn't add up?
My father did not tell my sisters and me anything. Everything I knew about my father before I launched on my quest, I knew from my mother and from my uncle, so it was secondhand or even really third-hand. However, my mother did speak about her ordeal. I can tell you the bare outline of what I knew about my father, and then I can tell you a little bit about what I filled in.
Right. Well, go ahead.
My father was from Lvov, or Lvov in Poland, which is now Lviv, Ukraine. I knew that he had somehow escaped Poland. I didn't know what year or anything about the time frame. We were told by our mother that he took a boat to Mexico and volunteered to work there as a doctor in one of the hospitals in exchange or as a result of having saved the life of someone who was taken ill on the dock in Veracruz. And that's really all I knew about how he got here. I also knew that he had studied for his medical degree at the University of Vienna Medical School. What I found out was that my father left Poland in March of 1939, so about a half a year before the invasion. A year after our father died, he died quite young in 1970, we found a document from someone named Rose FRENKEL and asked our mother, who is that? And she told us that our father had been married before he knew her. So I investigated this first wife on my quest, and it turns out that she visited Lvov sometime before their marriage in February, and that they traveled separately, she on a luxury liner to the United States, and he on a ship called Flandre. And when I was trying to figure out the destination, I decided to get in touch with the owner of that ship, the French Lines, and asked for the itinerary. And it turned out that it arrived in Havana in mid-May at the same time as the very famous refugee ship, the St. Louis. And then I found out that his first wife was on the dock arguing with an immigration officer saying, why can't he disembark? All his papers are in order, and the immigration officer saying he can't because he was born a Jew.
Wow.
And that was actually in an article that I found through newspapers.com, because one day on a whim I decided to look up Rose FRENKEL.
Now tell me, this may throw you off track, I hope it doesn't, but there are many, fortunately still, survivors of the Holocaust. Do you have any, you're an investigator, author and talented person knowing where to look. Are there ways that an average person can go to the library, or where would they go to get started to try to find out what happened in their former lives or the parents' lives? Is there a step one, so to speak?
Sure. There are several organizations online that people can join that are especially devoted to helping people determine their family's past. And they cater to people from all locations, but also the Jewish population has its own sites. If you want to do it independent of those sites, which I did in some instances, it depends where your family is from. So the first one that I would suggest is jewishgen.org.
Repeat, what is that, please? Go ahead.
Jewishgen.org. Gen for Jewish, and then Generations for short, so Jewish, GEN,
Right.
.org.
Okay, all right.
You can join and look up your family based on location and phonetic spellings of their name, and their marriage certificates, death certificates, cemetery headstones that have been scanned, and wedding announcements and so forth.
I'm sorry to say this, but we seem to have a bad connection. Do you mind calling us back so we can reconnect? Because right now you're breaking up, and I don't think your thoughts are being properly expressed. Would you mind calling right back? We'll hang up. I'll take a brief commercial, and we'll be right back, okay? All right.
Okay, I'll call you back.
Right.
Bye.
Please. Right.
When it's time to move, don't trust all your memories and most prized possessions to just some guys with a truck. Get personalized first-class treatment from bonded and experienced moving professionals. If you're confused about all the details involved in moving from one household to another, call 1-888-489-8980. Is always the concern of who should I call about the utilities? How shall I handle my household appliances? What should I do about my pets? What do I need to handle in advance of the move? For a free brochure titled Practical Hints to Make Moving Day Easier, call Aberdeen Van Lines at 1-888-489-8980. We can even help you in selling your home or any furniture that you may no longer wish for your next move. Let Aberdeen help make your move a dream. So call 1-888-489-8980 now. If you are 50 and above, one of the biggest decisions aside from your financial situation is where and how you should live. Our professional staff at HOW, stands for House Calls on Wheels, is ready to help you if you call 888-489-8980 for a free consultation as to whether you should stay in your current home or renovate it with a customized healthcare suite in your attached garage. Yes, you can have living quarters healthcare suite in your attached garage, or we can attach it to your home. We can install ramps, walkways, and bathtubs, stair glides, and bring in insurance-covered medical professional medical staff that is covered by your insurance, or affordable non-medical help, or move into a senior apartment, independent, assisted living center. We can do it all, or just give us a free call. It has been wisely said that in life you feel in one of two ways. You do without thinking, or you think without doing. Please let us help you do what's best for you to do at no charge. Just call 888-489-8980 and let us know what time we can call you or visit with you at no charge. Remember, asking for help is not a weakness, but it's a strength. Please call us at 888-489-8980 and let us help you stay strong and age in dignity. And speaking of dignity, I am glad the opportunity for you to hear a very talented author journalist who's written a book titled Family Treasures Lost and Found. Her name is Karen FRENKEL, and she's been in major magazines and public broadcasting station, and she wrote this wonderful book,
about her family and the research she did on finding out the history of what their family had to go through. Karen, as far as your book is now available, I assume, through Amazon and wherever books are sold. Is that correct?
No, it's just available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle editions, and possibly there'll be an audio recording soon. And if it does well on Amazon, then it will be in brick and mortar stores.
I wondered as to whether what you went through in the research and all, are there any situations today that seem to be almost a repetition of what your family had gone through? What is your opinion of today's times?
Yes, I do find that there are many parallels to what went on in the ramp up to World War II and the rise of the Nazi Party and the Third Reich, and also, and particularly with regard to immigration. And my father, I was telling you, was unable to disembark in Havana in May of 1939 because he was a Jew. And I think that that is very similar to the plights of displaced people all over the world today. We have 123 million displaced people on the planet.
And I just wondered, did you learn from your father? Obviously, was a talented doctor and all, and he was wise enough to leave early. Is there any lesson that was conveyed to you in terms of what he was able to do that could, for people that are concerned today, that they can do? Is there any lesson, so to speak, of what did he do, or how did he go about handling the situation? Do you have any insight on that?
Generally, I would say that it's very important to try to look events in the eye, so to speak. Denying that something is happening, not wanting to pay attention, diverting your attention to something that feels good can be very dangerous. That's the overall message I got from both my parents, because my father was a Holocaust survivor, whereas he fled. And in terms of his experience, my father faced tremendous violence as a medical student in Vienna. He was he and Jewish students and socialists were regularly beaten up by Austro-fascists who invited Nazis from Germany to join in. And I think he looked the danger right in the eye and saw that he had to get out of Europe. And that was a very difficult thing to do because nobody wanted to take Jews. And one mystery I was not able to completely solve was why he married this American tourist who happened to be in Lvov in sometime in early 1939. What was the motivation on her part? Was she trying to save Jews? Was my father very clear that the marriage was not going to last, and was it a marriage of mutual benefit? That is something I cannot say for certain, but it does look like they both knew what they were doing, and because it fell apart very quickly, because she had a boyfriend who was a gangster, and they expected my father, the greenhorn, to cover for them.
Well, I got to give you credit. Your book is over 300 pages, so it's a wealth of information. And anyone that's interested about really knowing what's went on, this is an actual life's journey that you went through, and of all the chapters that you have, is there any one of those chapters that you feel might be of most interest to the reader, or all of them are that good?
I'm not exactly unbiased in that regard, and I cut down my memoir by 25,000 words because I had a lot to say. But I was convinced that readers didn't have to know all the details, but it was such a magical journey that I was able to discover anything about my family. I mean, I never expected to be able to get into my grandfather's house in Lviv, and I didn't expect to get into the Gestapo headquarters in Tarnow, which my mother walked into to get this special stamp that saved her life. So there is one unusual chapter I could suggest, which is called Holocausted Out. And it's a break in the storytelling. And I talk about what it was like to hear negative things said about children of Holocaust survivors, and how I knew negative things were said to my parents so that they wouldn't feel comfortable talking, or they got the message people didn't want to listen. And there is some research that I describe about how children of Holocaust survivors are affected by the way that their parents survived. It matters whether they were a refugee. It matters whether they survived alone without any of their relatives, and how they coped after the war and how they brought us up. And that might be of interest because it's unusual to find in a memoir.
Well, anyone that has any interest as to what went on, your book, Family Treasures Lost and Found, and it's ironic, your last name, Frenkel, is so similar to the classic situation of the person who was survivor after all those years and trials and tribulations. So pick up Family Treasures Lost and Found. I am sure it's available also at the library, too. Karen Frenkel, it's been a delight to have you on the air, and best luck for your continued success. Right now, I got to wrap it up with my favorite parting thought. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift, and that's why we call it the present. Please enjoy your present by looking and living life with the bright side of aging.
Welcome to the Entrepreneurs Network radio show. Our mission is to interview successful entrepreneurs who are willing to share with us their ideas and experiences, both the successes and the failures. Because as it has been jokingly said, you should learn from the mistakes of others because you'll never live long enough to make them all yourself. My name is IKE ENGELBAUM, and I'm the founder of the Entrepreneurs Network of Michigan, which is a group of motivated people that are all interested in helping each other in achieving our personal and professional goals. Please check out our website, EntrepreneursNetworkofMichigan.com, for meeting schedule as well as self-improvement material. Our philosophy is that if it's to be, it's up to me. For over 30 years, Cruz Hearing and Service has helped thousands of people improve their hearing and enjoy the sounds of their life again. If you don't hear as well as you like, Cruz Hearing can help you. They have actually hearing aids that the batteries do not need to be recharged. And they also have a caption phone that you can view for free. And also the phone, if you are over 65, is available to you free. So any phone calls you get, you can see captioned if you don't hear that well. Hey, they've got other stuff. If you'd like to free cookbook, call 1-888-489-8980. That's available. You can call Cruise Hearing Direct at 877-456-2789. The number direct is 877-456-2789. When it's time to move, don't trust all your memories and most prized possessions to just some guys with a truck. Get personalized first-class treatment from bonded and experienced moving professionals. If you're confused about all the details involved in moving from one household to another, call 1-888-489-8980. Is always the concern of who should I call about the utilities? How shall I handle my household appliances? What should I do about my pets? What do I need to handle in advance of the move? For a free brochure titled Practical Hints to Make Moving Day Easier, call Aberdeen Van Lines at 1-888-489-8980. We can even help you in selling your home or any furniture that you may no longer wish for your next move. Let Aberdeen help make your move a dream. So call 1-888-489-8980 now.
Now, welcome back to what we hope can make a positive difference in your life by taking steps on becoming self-sufficient. There is no doubt our American dream is still alive, although we're actually getting a few blurbs to keep us away from that. And I pride myself as to being able to work with people who are of the entrepreneurial spirit. You know, if you're fortunate enough to be able to have enough of a paycheck to keep your bills paid, but you want to have more, the only way to do that is to do more. And you can do that in your current position as an entrepreneur. It's called side hustle. There are so many different opportunities to actually be your own boss and then still maintain a source of income of what you have. For those of us who are fortunate enough that do have a job and have a reasonably successful life, we should take advantage of what is available. Unfortunately, we're facing a really horrible situation where despite the year 2025, we still have the closest thing to slavery, which is human trafficking. And I'm really excited about having a typical type of entrepreneur individual by the name of Doug ROACH. He is a board member of Hope Against Trafficking, and he's a retired business leader with a career focused on engineering software for the automotive and other industry sectors. But because of his desire to give back to this wonderful country, a church friend of his said, "Hey, Doug, why don't you team up with me and help in reducing this horrible condition of human trafficking?" So he became connected with Hope Against Trafficking several years ago. Is that how it went, Doug?
Yes. Hello, Ike.
That's wonderful. I must commend you. I've heard so many really interesting stories about what the Hope Against Trafficking's mission is. In fact, I'm a member of the Rotary Club of West Bloomfield and Optimist Club, and we're going to have one of your speakers at an upcoming Rotary meeting. And anyone that's interested in hearing more information, if they will call our toll-free number, 888-489-8980, join up with either the Optimist Club in your area or Rotary Club. I'm biased since I'm out in West Bloomfield to be a member of both those organizations. And we have either a lunch or a breakfast meeting every other week. If you'd like to join us and be a guest, you can have either a free breakfast or a free lunch, depending on which organization you choose. Just call us at 888-489-8980. And now, Doug, I just wondered, as far as the Hope Against Trafficking, you have different approaches in how we can help some of these poor souls that have been trafficked. Do you want to go into some of the areas that you've helped, or which areas? They call them pillars, I believe, of Hope Against Trafficking. I know the one that we were going to be talking about today is the entrepreneurial one, but there are several other areas that you zero in on. Is that correct?
Yes. Ike, yes, thank you. And again, thank you. Good morning to you and your audience. Appreciate very much the time to have a brief discussion with you. Yes, Hope Against Trafficking is focused on helping victims of human trafficking reclaim their lives and find a path back to independence and their ability to contribute in society. And as you pointed out at the beginning, right, this is just an absolute tragedy that this can go on in society today. And of course, the biggest reason for anything is supply and demand. You have buyers for this, most of them men, and we know that the genesis of this, be it pornography or internet or other things, certainly helps drive that demand, which then creates the need for this thing to continue. It's been a blessing, as you pointed out. A friend of mine invited me to get more connected to Hope, and one of the things I've learned is that there's a lot of women connected to the topic, but there's not a lot of men involved in helping the leadership, helping the topic, helping to advance the cause, to fight it. And I felt really led to make a contribution and to give back where I can. To your point, we at Hope Against Trafficking have a number of pillars to the organization. One of them, of course, is the programming, where participants in the programming go through a 2-year program to help them get medical attention, get psychological attention, get skills training, a whole bunch of different things to just help them transition from that awful environment into hopefully a chance to participate in society again with their own independence. We also have a pillar of education, helping to educate the community, make people aware of the topic, be they younger kids, school-age kids, middle school, high school. We now know that with the internet, social media, it is so vital to get awareness and help people understand the signs and the things that they need to be aware of to guard against becoming potential victims. One of the other pillars we have is what you pointed out, which is the social enterprise. It is an entrepreneurial leg of the program in which we have created a business-based approach where the participants in the program actually create soaps and lotions and other products. They go through the learning process of creating these products, manufacturing them, packaging them, ultimately getting them ready for distribution and then sale. And those business skills, right, the ability to learn how all of that works, then contributes as those products are sold. Those funds come back into the organization and help further fund Hope Against Trafficking. So that's a very exciting and growing part of what we're doing, this entrepreneurial pillar, where we can educate, train, create life skills, be it monetary management, basic business skills that will, again, help participants in the program hopefully translate that when they go to look for work out in the marketplace.
You know, I'm very biased, as you may know. I'm the founder of the Entrepreneurs Network of Michigan, and I'm really excited about seeing the spirit of entrepreneurism used in so many different areas. In the old days, when you said entrepreneur, that sort of gave the impression that you were a hustler or something, or a carpetbagger. The truth of it is that our country was built on entrepreneurial activities, and I can't help but think of the analogy of where you've heard that saying that give a man a fish and he has food for one meal, and teach a man how to fish and he can eat forever. Well, that sounds great, but I have a series of IKEisms, and one of these that I made up, I think is appropriate, and it states, it doesn't really help to teach a man how to fish so that he can eat forever, unless you teach him as well as give him a fishing pole and bait and tell him where the fish are. He still is going to need food. And this is what I see in what you're doing. You're actually helping people, not just actually tell them, hey, become an entrepreneur. Can you tell us what can the person expect if they're unfortunately a survivor from trafficking? What happens? How do the skills that you go through? Are there certain steps? Do you do an evaluation first? What happens?
Well, the people leading the social enterprise, get them connected, and of course, different people come in at different times, so there are different maturity levels of learning. So the new folks come in, they begin to learn some of the skills of, there's a very structured process when it comes to creating these products, right? You have to measure and manage and document and prepare. And so learning how that process works, and then for those that have been there for a little while, they can take on more and more responsibility. And again, the idea is just what you said, right? Teaching people who perhaps have had little to no experience with how the world works, right? I mean, it's a small example for them to learn that, products are created and products are sold, and, money can be made from that. And then that ability to learn some of those fundamental skills hopefully translate as they go and get jobs. One of the other things we do is help people find some kind of employment during the programming time that they're with Hope Against Trafficking. And so the blend of experience working in this social enterprise entrepreneurial area, when they do find some kind of work, that hopefully those understanding, right, of participating in something with some structure and the creation process pays off in helping them find their way.
In other words, you teach them how to get the fishing pole and the bait and how to actually work it out. Well, I just wondered what types of outcomes does the social enterprise focus on?
Well, as I said, the goal is that we help to give them the skills and experience, right, of creating something and understanding how it all fits into the bigger picture, and ultimately seeing these products after they're packaged be sold with the purpose of reinvesting that back in and helping the HOPE program is part of that experience, seeing that full circle experience of what some of these business attributes look like. So that's an important part of the learning. And like anything, when somebody's new to it, it takes time, and they have to figure out where their skills and interests are, and it just fits into it's one of the elements that just fits into the overall experience for helping these people make this transition from this horrible place they were into what does it look like to ultimately participate in a life of independence.
And I imagine the self-esteem that's built up also gives them that additional level of confidence in their whole life. And I wondered if someone wants to get a hold of you, what's the best contact information you can give?
Well, our website is hopeagainsttrafficking.org. That's hopeagainsttrafficking.org. And by going to that website, there is opportunity there to see the different activities we have and a chance to connect as a potential volunteer or to get more information. We do have open houses in which our executive director and others host the opportunity for people to come and see and learn more about Hope Against Trafficking and the organization and what we do and where we might be able to plug them in based on their interests and skills and call to help.
Well, that's a simple way, Hope Against Trafficking. And how do you feel, how can you engage the broader community as part of the building of the efforts of Hope?
Well, as I mentioned, one of the pillars is education. So we're doing what we can to educate people within the community, create more and more awareness of the topic. I think, as a man who went through his career, traveled the world, did all kinds of things, you realize now with some hindsight that this lives right in front of our eyes. Right? At every major sporting event, this topic, this tragedy is happening. And as I mentioned early on, men drive this, right? It's a supply and demand thing. And the awareness of the topic is a really important focus point for us because as a society, we're really good at just kind of walking by or not wanting to look at uncomfortable things. And I think this is one of those areas where it's not a good sight, right?
Right, exactly. Well, I always like to give out our toll-free number, 888-489-8980, because I'm a strong advocate of actually training and identifying ways that people can become self-sufficient. And this is not only true for people that have gone through the horrendous situation of being trafficked. In our everyday life, one of the great visions was by Maimonides, who was actually one of the founders of the whole aspect of essence of many religions. And his suggestion, or actually dictum, so to speak, was that the greatest deed a human being can accomplish is to teach him how to become self-sufficient. And that's what the whole aspect of Hope Against Trafficking is. And as far as any volunteers that feel they can contribute, again, the best way is to go to the website. Is that correct, Doug?
Yes, it is. hopeagainsttrafficking.org.
Uh, and I noticed in the information that was sent to me, you're an engineer of software for automotive stuff. Are you still doing that type of thing, or is you primarily devoted to working your efforts with Hope Against Trafficking?
I'm doing a little consulting now that I've retired and doing some interesting work. To your point about entrepreneurs, I do some work with Michigan State University and helping to facilitate innovations and startups where there are young students as well as professors who have interesting innovations that they are looking to take into the marketplace. So I appreciate very much your topic about entrepreneurship on multiple fronts.
Right. Well, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you've got a great sounding voice and you got a lot of talent. You welcome opportunities to speak in front of different organizations like the Rotary and Optimist Club anywhere. Yes.
Well, yeah. Well, certainly appreciate taking the opportunity to talk where it fits, and it's been very much appreciated your support for Hope and the discussions there. I think you mentioned somebody from the team will be supporting you at one of your events as well. But yes,
right.
So you know how I may be able to help.
Well, we can have you as a speaker as well. Everyone's got their own insight into what can help someone. And the irony of ironies is that of all of the technology and everything that is out there, there's nothing that beats human being to human being connection. And I'm a firm believer that if you can just get out and contact organizations, and I imagine, without putting you on the spot, that you've benefited personally in your life by being involved as a volunteer. Is that correct?
It has been, Ike, you're spot on. Participating in Hope has been very rewarding personally, to be able to contribute and do a variety of things, including as we're rehabbing some of the properties we have as part of the program. Just knowing that you're making a difference to help someone reclaim their life is so much bigger than the other things they've done through the years in a career sense or professional sense. When you know that human beings who have gone through pure tragedy have an opportunity to find a new way forward.
So I hate when I talk to some of my friends, as I like to say, they're not older, they're seasoned, and they say, "Oh, I'm retired," and I correct them. You're not retired. You're refired. You're re-energized. Okay, and you're a perfect example of that. Anyone that's out there that says, "I'm retired," and let's face it, you can play golf for certain parts of the year, and there's only so much golf, and so many talented people out there that, like yourself, who is an engineer and all, have got knowledge that can be so beneficial to making other people self-sufficient. And like we discussed before, there is nothing that money can cover that wonderful, wonderful feeling that when someone comes up to you and asks you a question because they're challenged, and you've been there and done that, and you've solved that problem for them, you've opened up a whole new life for them. I can't help but go with that classic saying, how many times you've heard, "Oh, I'm just one person, what can I do?" Well, there's what I like to call an icism, is that to the world you may be one person, but to one person you can be the whole world. And this is what Hope Against Trafficking type of volunteers can do. I also promote SCORE, which is an organization titled Senior Corps Retired Executives. These are people that have retired or actually re-energized and give back. And I just can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on. I just wondered, is there any particular individual that you have in mind that stands out, of someone that came that you feel that you made a difference for? Anyone in particular? Or is it a general way of helping?
Well, I, for privacy reasons, we don't speak necessarily of people in the program, but I can tell you that other volunteers, there's a community of retired guys that come and help do a lot of the physical property rehabilitations of some of the properties that we are mixing into the programming capabilities of the organization. And I know that they have all commented that is such a rewarding experience to know that you're putting a foundation in place that can be used as part of really making a difference. And that's part of it for me as well. But there are so many different ways to give back, and all of us are blessed with different skills, and figuring out where those skills fit to give you both the reward for yourself and know that contribution can make a difference.
Right. I can't help but be reminded of saying, now that I know all of the answers, no one's asking me the questions. So
yeah.
If you're out there, by all means, ask the questions. Ask of people like Doug Roach and the other terrific members. I've had the pleasure of meeting a few of them, and they're all really devoted to making a difference in other people's lives in a positive way. God bless you, and I really appreciate your calling in, and we definitely are going to continue on this mode of trying to help those unfortunate souls that have been trafficking. And it's just disgusting to think that we're in 2025 talking about a different form of slavery. It's a shame, and I know Hope Against Trafficking is going to make a dramatic difference. Thanks for being on the air. Right now, I have enough time for my favorite parting thought, which is, if you really want to get anything done in life, you'll find a way. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse. And there is no excuse for not achieving your dreams and goals in America, because it is the greatest country in the whole world. Remember, a goal is just a dream with a deadline.